Hello, my name is Vanessa Bright. I'm here in my new office, as you can tell. In this video, I'm going to talk about another question that I get a lot, and that is, how long is this going to take? How long is therapy going to take? And you'll see that my answer is really not going to be a concrete answer in terms of how many weeks, how many sessions. Of course, I'll say that it depends on who you are or what the issues are, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into why I think it's a good thing that therapy takes a while. A lot of people have a question about money right at that point. Well, don't you just charge money for this? And, so you're happy that it takes a while because, you'll get paid more. And so I'll answer more of that as I go along. And so the first point I want to say is that, the kinds of issues that people come into therapy with are, very varied, but in any case, they've taken a long time to form and to get to where they are. So somebody comes in with a phobia or even depression or anxiety and things like that. These are all things that have grown out of our coping skills and our ways of dealing with the world and in the world that have taken a long time to form. They've taken a while to get to where they are. And, first of all, it takes a while to explore how they got that way. And of course, that's not all we do in therapy because, your purpose for being there is to actually help yourself to heal, to get some help dealing with the things that you're struggling with. And the trouble is that the movies don't help, and the different sitcoms and even dramas don't help in terms of how people see therapy. A lot of what it looks like from the outside is that it's kind of like this personalized self-help book. That, okay, you can read the self-help book on your own. You come to see a therapist and it'll be more personalized to your actual issues, but it's still sort of like this set of insights or this set of things that you need to know about yourself, or a set of rules or set of behaviors or things like that that you need to integrate, and kind of you get this homework and then you go and do it. And honestly, I don't even know. There may be other therapies that do work this way, and I'm sure there are actually now that I think about it, but I'm so steeped in psychoanalytic work that it's not even how I see therapy. It's not how I see the most effective therapy. And the most effective therapy is not about learning about a skill or, learning, some sort of set of insights about yourself. It's about learning how to experience yourself differently. And that takes a while to actually hone in. That's what needs to change in order for you to change how you are in the world, how you are with your relationships. So it's a deep fundamental change that needs to happen. And it takes time because it takes time to integrate those things. So it's not just, oh, I wasn't allowed to be, a child growing up, or, oh, I was abused. Or even, I guess we grew up in poverty, or things like that you kind of learn to hold onto your story and to know what it is. But it's, okay, how does that then translate into how you are in the world now, given what you've grown up in? And then, what do you do with that? And the way I see it, the way I work, is that the therapy relationship itself becomes your laboratory for learning how you are in a particular relationship. So the therapy relationship is one of the relationships in your life. And you start to pay attention to how your mind works when you are talking to someone, when you are talking to somebody about deep, maybe challenging things, and the kinds of things that you expect to hear, the kinds of things that you want to hear, the kinds of things that you hold yourself back from asking for, A lot of people have that, well, whatever the therapist offers is enough or is what it is. But then learning how to actually ask for it. And then you start to be able to ask for, when I say it, I mean, something that you need, a particular way of responding or particular maybe silence, things like that. And then you start to be able to ask for that in your life, in your other relationships. And so it becomes a place for you to examine all of that, and also how you got to a place where you censor yourself. What holds you back from asking for what you need? What holds you back from even being aware of what you need? So there's a lot of stigma around therapy, even though people will say there is none or there is little or something like that. But unconsciously, a lot of people believe that they have to be really suffering to the point where they can't function, or or you are crazy, basically, or you have some sort of really serious mental illness in order to ask for help. And the truth is that we all need other people. We need, even growing up, and that's where it starts as a baby, you need the presence of another person in order to know yourself. And it starts as a baby, but it goes on for the rest of your life. Our need to connect, our need to be known and to be seen and to be responded to does not go away. And that's not a bad thing. That's what makes us human. And so most clients come into therapy kind of thinking that it's like triage, or they're in some sort of crisis, and that's where you have to start. You have to deal with the thing that brought you in, unless you just decide, okay, I'm ready, and there's no crisis. But for most people, there's some sort of pressing need. And they kind of think of it, okay, I'm going to go ask somebody for that personalized self-help book, for that set of insights or skills and things like that. And as an analytic therapist, I think of it as more of, you're entering a process. You're entering a way where you are going, where you're going to learn something about yourself, how you function, how you process. It becomes, it's a two-way relationship in some ways, not in all ways. It is, the main focus is on the client, on the person who's coming in for help. But there is another person in the room that is responding to, what you're talking about, and the therapist's reflections on kind of how you are in the room. Like, you may not notice that you are, let's say, really hard on yourself, or that you have a hard time, let's say, looking me in the eye, or things like that, or more subtle things, where if I ask you about a particular issue, and you have a hard time responding, and you change subjects, and you may not even notice that. And so we all need that other person to really pay very, very close attention. And that's the other thing too. It's not just, let's look at the generals, but to pay attention to the nuance of how your mind works, how you function in a relationship and in that process that we would be in together. And it gives you an opportunity to really explore deeply into yourself, so that you can start to make some things conscious that might have been running your life previously that were unconscious, and then you're able to make choices that are more conscious, So yes, it's kind of learning a skill set, but it's not like, let me learn how to sew, and so there's a particular skill set. You're learning about a skill set of communication, of how to communicate your needs and your feelings to other people, but also this more subtle skill set of knowing yourself from the inside out, being able to pay attention to the workings of your psyche, being able to stay with your feelings and to know what they are. A lot of people don't know what they are. And to really do all of that well, to really own your story and to be able to do everything I just talked about, you know, it takes time and it's worth the time. And I won't speak for any of my clients because I obviously can't, but I'll speak for myself. As a client myself, I actually started therapy long before I decided even to become a therapist myself. And it was the single greatest thing I've ever done for myself because of the profound change that I experienced, you know, in that relationship, really kind of going to those vulnerable places of, you know, my therapist kind of very gently but firmly questioning certain things about how I was, and really working in, you know, psychodynamically it's called, you know, working within the relationship, and also exploring my history and my past and how that, you know, created who I am, how that led to being who I am. So you can see that the answer to the question of how long is this going to take, first of all, it varies from the kind of therapist that the therapist is to another. But, you know, it's also within psychoanalytic work, there, you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know, it is deep and long-term work, and it's worth doing it. This is, you know, of course I'm going to say this because I'm a psychoanalyst, but I've experienced it and I've seen others experience it. You know, when it is done well, when it is a good fit between a therapist and the client, it is work worth doing. I've said this in another video because I feel so strongly about it, that you have an opportunity that you don't necessarily have anywhere else in your life, to be listened to slow down, to really explore what you are, who you are, how your mind works, how you work. So hopefully you found this useful and interesting. Please feel free to contact me, vanessahannahbright.com, vanessabright@inbox.com. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.